Hey Bubble family, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I am doing chapter 8, just chapter 8 today because it was quite a lot to unpack, so I thought rather than doing, but tomorrow I will be doing chapter 9 and 10. So just in today's video I will be looking at chapter 8, which is Hilary. Not quite sure why it was named this because she doesn't really get featured an awful lot in this particular chapter. But yes, in my therapeutic perspective, as I always have. So if you want to watch this, then you can watch the entire video, which includes my waffle, which is about to happen, or you can just skip right ahead where you can click on the video and you will see the thumbnail to click on that one, and then it will skip the waffle. So bubbles, as you can see, by the way, waffle is about to start. I have decided to come on camera with no makeup on. Okay, well, that's a slight lie. I still have yesterday's mascara on. But for the most part, I've taken my makeup off because I wanted to show you, and I know I don't have to do this. I know I don't have to do this because, to be fair, you probably don't care one way or the other. But it felt important to me because I didn't want you to kind of think that I'm always somebody that feels the need to come on camera and be perfect. You know, like with my makeup and everything else. I love makeup, believe you me, I love makeup, but I thought, you know what, I'm real like you guys, and I kind of wanted to show you the things that I struggle with. So as you can see, which I have spoken about before, with my illness, for some reason, it's really affected the growth of my eyebrows. So as you can see, they have started to grow back because I used to have to almost draw all of them on. But since I've been doing my skincare routine, since I've probably been really being careful about what I do, what I eat, etc., I have noticed they've started to grow back, which is great. But as you can see, one is growing back more than the other, and my theory on this is because when I sleep, I tend to sleep more on this side. So even if I start that side, somewhere in the night I turn over and I end up on this side. So I think that because I'm sleeping more on this side, it's not growing back as much as what I would like. So when I do my eyebrows, what I do is, I will show you, I use this Brow Friends Forever, and then you sort of brush the hairs up, and it kind of fills things in, and then I use actually a mascara to, again, kind of just go over any of the hairs that you can't really see, and then I just fill it in with this, which is actually hairline powder, but I actually use it for my eyebrows, and I just put a tiny bit on a very, very thin brush, like something like that, and I literally just kind of stroke them on, and then literally that's what I do. And as you can start to see, and I just build it up, and so then it just starts to then look, and then I just kind of fill that in a little bit, and so then I just, so that's kind of what I do. The other thing, my skincare routine is pretty much always the same, and I have talked about this in a previous video. I use a lot of the Ordinary products because they don't have any chemicals in them. They're really natural with the specific product in mind. There's no gimmicks, no kind of added essence of patchouli or something like that. Nothing wrong with that if that's what you like, but for me, I don't like something that's overly powerful in smell because I do suffer with migraines, so that's why I use a lot of their products. And not only that, they're really, really cheap. So that's what I after I do my kind of skincare routine, and I make sure that I've done my moisturizer and my under eye, because as you can see here, what I have here, I have a broken vein. So sometimes when I'm tired, it shows, and it actually, you know, can look it gets a lot darker. So one of the things that I'm always looking into is a concealer. And at the moment, my two favorites are almost the polar opposite ends of the price scale. Is I use Revolution Pro I have 3 shades, so I kind of mix a little bit depending on what I'm wearing. And this is awesome. It really is like crease proof. The frustrating thing is they've now discontinued it, and I'm so gutted. So I'm literally using this so sparingly. And then the other one that I use is either Magic Away, again, Charlotte Tilbury. And again, I don't have shares in Charlotte Tilbury, but I like what I like. And the other one, which is good, is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer by Too Faced. And I have to say, this is probably the most economical, because it literally lasts for ages. And so to me, this is probably the best value, I would say. The Revolutionary one is also, because you do not need a lot, but the gutting thing is that they have discontinued this. I could try a little bit of this, so I will show you. So as you can see, and I'm only and this is my Waffle, guys, so you can fast forward this. So as you can see, so all I do is I dab a little bit here, a little bit here, and then I just pat it in. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. I literally just keep doing that until I kind of just bring it down a little bit to kind of, and then, yeah, see? You can see the difference between that side and that side. So yeah, and like I say, I mean, it's got a good applicator type thing. And I'm not starting a beauty channel, guys. This is just part of the Waffle, because I know that some of you have asked what's my skincare routine, because you've commented that, you know, my skin looks good for my age. So I'm just imparting my wisdom to you. That is all. And to be fair, I enjoy makeup, as you can see by the video when I showed you my makeup. I have to say I love makeup, and it's probably the one time that's what I spend a lot of my money on. You know, I will be honest, but you know, I don't spend it on anything really else, apart from I get my hair done every now and again, but that's, you know, I'm going grey, so nothing wrong with going grey, before anyone jumps in on that. But I'm just not ready to go grey just yet. I do enjoy having my hair coloured and styled at a hairdresser's sometimes. So, but that's it really. That's really what I spend my money on, and maybe the odd clothing thing, but again, it's not expensive. I enjoy very much going around charity shops, which is like the thrift store and stuff like that. I'm all for a bargain, so yeah, so that just to kind of give you a little snippet into kind of what I do. But like I say, I wanted to come on camera not in this full face of makeup that I sometimes, well, a lot of the time normally do. I wanted you to see that I can come on camera and not have a face full of makeup on. And in the world where I'm literally dissecting this book, I need my happy place. My happy place is my pace. My happy pace. No, it's not happy pace. It's happy place. Boo. From now on, when I do a boo-boo, I'm going to do this. Happy place is my makeup. And reading this book, I need that. I need that. So that is my waffle today, peoples. Bubbles, should I say. So by now, you should know what to do. And if you don't, and you are joining this channel, so for the people that don't know, this is what I do in every single video. It has become a thing. Like my waffle has become a thing. So if you don't like it, you can skip it. But for those of you who love it, grab that drink of choice, whether it be like me today, I'm finishing up my coffee, and actually it's now more like iced coffee because it's gone cold. Whether you like tea, whether you enjoy a herbal tea even, because I know that some of you do like a nice herbal tea. I personally do like strawberry and mango is quite nice, and peppermint. I love a peppermint tea. And I've just bought myself a teapot that you can put the fresh. I was going to say fresh pressed tea, but it become pressed. Wouldn't be me if I didn't design a new word for something. So yes, mint tea. Or whether you be somebody that actually enjoys putting fresh mint into a mojito, a lovely mojito, one of my favorite drinks, because as I always say, it is 5 o'clock somewhere. So grab your drink and let's dive right in. So bubbles, here we go. Chapter 8, Hilary. And like I say, I don't know why this is called Hilary because she doesn't really feature that much. But anyway, anywho, Fitzpatrick understood Meghan's ambition. Now Fitzpatrick is John Fitzpatrick, who is the owner of the Fitzpatrick Hotel. This is someone that Meghan is utilising right now. So he understood her ambition. She wanted to meet and spend time with celebrities. So, of course, because he's enamoured by her way that she is, and she's love-bombed him like she does with every male that she potentially meets, and female, should I say. So he then decides that he's going to help her. So he invites her to the best restaurants. He gets her to meet certain people. And among the New York hoteliers, Fitzpatrick's many attractions for Meghan was his close relationship with the Clintons. Dun, dun, dun. In 2015. So again, I've put my notes are Meghan continues to charm, to fuel her agenda. But I do find it interesting that she doesn't, it's like when she decides to date, she goes for men what I would see of around her age. But a lot of the men that she also uses outside of this are older. So it's almost like she plays on this flattery of, I guess, compared to their age, a younger woman, you know, attractive younger woman, flirting and being interested in them. So she panders to their ego. And again, this is not unusual. We know that a lot of women have done this over the years. And I think, again, if she was a nice person, people would applaud her for doing it. You know, for using men to further her agenda. A lot of people would be like, you know what? Men use women all the time, you know, you're doing the same, it's not really a thing. But I think because we have seen this other side, and a lot of people have seen this other side to her. It really makes her unlikable and actually quite cruel, because the way she does it, so she doesn't just use men, she treats them with such disregard and disrespect. And then not only on top of that, she does the same to women. The women that she uses them for the amount of time that she needs them, and then she literally ghosts them. They're done, they're nothing. But with men especially, and I do believe this goes back to her treatment of Thomas, because you have to look at the fact, if she's okay to treat her own father this way, she is not going to have any qualms about treating anybody else this way, because the one important person in her life should have been her father. So if she's okay to treat her father like this, she will treat any other man like this, and she will not care about how she does it. And we're seeing this, you know. So she's basically using this Patrick guy, because he's got the connections with the Clintons. So Meghan is still focusing on Emma Watson. I feel almost to the point of obsessive stalking at this point. She's idealized and obsessed with becoming Emma Watson at this point. And, you know, she sees herself just as important as Emma Watson. So this is the person she's now wanting to be. And in all fairness, I think in her own ego, she believes she is as good as, maybe if not better at some point. So she sets her sight on securing the same appointment so she wants the ambassadorship for the UN Women's Programme. Fitzpatrick could help her. So this is why she's now using him. A request from Hillary Clinton's office to Fumzile Malumbo, oh gosh, I'm sorry that I can't say these names, Jakuka, I'm so sorry, head of the UN Women at the headquarters in New York, secured the vital introduction Meghan sought. Elizabeth Nyamaro, a Zimbabwean employee of the United Nations campaign to promote women's rights and eradicate gender inequality by 2030, telephoned Meghan and asked her whether she would like to become a women's advocate for political participation in Africa. This was exactly the opportunity Meghan wanted. So Nyamaro, dressed in outstanding clothes and with her distinctive voice, dominated a room. She never expected to stand quietly in a corner, nor would Meghan. From the outset, these were the ingredients for a disagreement between the two. So here's the thing. When you have a narcissistic personality type like Meghan, there is no way that she would want anyone else being more dominant than her. Anyone commanding more attention than her. So especially in a woman, she would see that as a threat. And it makes more sense now that we have seen the way she acts with Catherine, even though Catherine is not necessarily a dominant type, but her stature in the fact that she is future queen, she is the wife of William, future king, she commands that respect, commands that stature and that dominance in a way. So this would be an absolute threat to someone, to Meghan's ego, to her personality, same as this woman is. She, you know, this woman commands, you know, when she walks in, she commands an audience. It's like she has that aura about her. And Meghan strives to be like this, whereas I would believe this woman is like this naturally. Meghan fakes it to be like that. So that's why she struggles so much with it, because she cannot ever be like that, not authentically. So she's basically living an inauthentic, where's the word? Inauthentic existence, which is what she's doing right now. So she would be an absolute threat. To accommodate her timetable, it will be shot in Toronto. Matt Hassel, the creative director of the advertising agency KBS, was asked to fly down to New York from Toronto to meet the famous celebrity who would be the video star. Amid secrecy about the celebrity's identity, Hassel wondered who it would be. Would it be Meryl Streep or another Hollywood star? So when it's revealed that it was Meghan Markle, Hassel was dumbfounded. Who? he and his producer, Brenda Saminsky, asked themselves neither had ever heard of Meghan or Suits. So again, interestingly, all the way along this book, it's always noted, no matter who Meghan comes into contact with, their answer is kind of like, huh, who? They don't know who Meghan Markle is. So I think what he's really trying to implement here is that Meghan Markle was absolutely an unknown up until she meets Harry. So this whole underlining way the squad act of like, oh, you know, Meghan Markle was famous in her own right. She was a Hollywood actress. She was this, she was that. No, she wasn't. You know, the biggest names in the industry had not heard of her until she married Harry. So I think that's why he's saying this in almost every time she meets somebody. He writes, they'd never heard of Meghan Markle. They'd never heard of Suits. So it just shows that Suits was not popular outside of Toronto. And, you know, it might have had a little click following in other areas, but not anything near the way Meghan portrays herself. So basically, introduced to the actress, both advertising executives were struck by Meghan's insistence that she, the star, would be in control. Her illusions of grandeur continued during the video shoot at George Brown College in Toronto. Everyone, it seemed, was there to serve Meghan. Only Nyamero refused to oblige. Throughout the day, they disagreed about the script. The video was shot, but the result was practically unusable. Nevertheless, in February 2015, Meghan flew with Nyamero. I'm just going to say Naya because I feel like I'm getting this name wrong. Naya, 9,000 miles from New York to Rwanda, a landlocked country in Central Africa, to speak to women about the importance of gender equality. Rwanda had been the site of an appalling tragedy in the early 1990s, a genocidal civil war between two tribes, the Tutsi and the Hutus, had ended after the brutal death of around 800,000 Tutsi civilians. Wow. Wow. That's devastating. That's devastating. I mean, I did know about this, but it just, when you read it, there is something really, just like when you're reading it in black and white, just, it's, yeah, it kind of, it impacts that 800,000, that's, anyway. So Paul Kagame, I think his name is, a Tutsi army officer, had emerged in 2000 from the bloodbath to become the country's president, receiving 90% of the popular vote. By 2015, Kagame was then widely accused of being complicit in mass murder. Well, at this point, I have written, clearly Meghan had not done her research, or had she done her research and she ignored it? Many of his political opponents had been found dead. So basically, he, from what this is saying, that he took out any of his opposition so he could secure the spot of president. So not only in Rwanda, but across America, and Hutu refugees in neighbouring Congo were being slaughtered, oh wow, by the Rwandan army. Nevertheless, led by Britain's former Prime Minister, Tony Blair, many in the world community paraded Kagame as a model of African democrat. The UN, like Blair, ignored a 2014 report by the US State Department about murderous oppression in Rwanda. Wow, no shock there then. Do you know what? I find, and even though, yes, I've read this, and so this is not the first time as I'm reading this to you, and I'm kind of quite glad actually, because when I did first read this, I was really quite shocked. And I kind of knew about this, but I think I didn't really know about the scale of it. And I just, I find it sad that this doesn't just happen in places like Rwanda. It happens in so many other places where people that could make a profound difference in change turn a blind eye. It's as if human life, especially in countries like this, don't matter. Yeah. As a regular reader of The Economist, Meghan would have been aware of Kagami's reputation. Well, of course. Of course. What a surprise, not. So she ignored it. So because she wanted to elevate herself, because she wanted to ingratiate herself with I hope you realise, Bubbles, how much I love you all, because my thoughts in my head when I'm reading some of this is not very pleasant. I'm going to be honest. I think she's an absolute vile human being. I think anyone that bypasses the atrocities of a country, of a nation, to further your agenda. And she's not the only person that does this. But it's not a surprise to me that she actually really doesn't give a crap, does she? She really doesn't give a crap about anybody but herself. So all her fake, I care, I really hope that this finishes her, this book. I really hope that the people that believed, and I'm not talking about the squad, because I think it wouldn't matter what she did, they would still, because she's like a cult leader to them. But anyone that's left that's credible, and I mean credible, not the likes of Trisha Goddard, who just spouts her nonsense to use Meghan to stay relevant in the news. But anyone credible will look at this. I think if you read this and still don't believe that she's a self-entitled, selfish, worst names I could possibly think of individual, then all I can say is that then you are very similar to who she is, and you don't see the problem in her because you're very much of the same mindset. Because just absolutely disgusting. As a so it says here, in Naya's opinion, Kagame was responsible for making Rwanda an exemplary model of female leadership to every country. In her admiration for the dictator, Naya described Rwanda's women politicians as phenomenal. And they might well be. They might well be. But she did not acknowledge that the female MPs were merely rubber stamping Kagame's ideology, basically. But what is missing here again comes down is that a lot of the male so what he's calm down, Emma, calm down, Emma, calm down, Emma. What I'm seeing here is that Kagame basically puts these women in power because he thinks that they can be manipulated. So what he's done is he's got rid of, from what I can see, now this might not be true, that he's got rid of any male opposition because he's threatened by male, so probably a narcissist, threatened by any male opposition that could threaten his ruling. But he doesn't believe women are a threat. So he puts women in because he can, they will follow him. They will literally do what he wants. So that's exactly why he's done it. How is that women empowerment? Okay, yes, they're in a position and they're MPs, and that's wonderful and great. But the reason they're there, how is that female empowerment? That's basically almost the opposite. That's saying, you're nothing really. And, you know, I'm just going to stick you in this role because I can manipulate you. That's not female empowerment. And then you've got Meghan, who praises him. So she's not looked into this, or she has looked into this, and she doesn't care because she's not really in it for the women. She's not in it for anybody apart from herself. She sees an opportunity and she's like, do you know what? No matter what it takes, I'm going to go with that. I mean, here she says, you know, she was excited that 64% of the Rwandan senators were women. But she did not mention that one of the reasons was that the murder of Rwandan men was because of the murder of Rwandan men during the tribal genocide. Here we go. The female politicians did not question their leader's luxurious lifestyle, traveling around the world in the large private jet. Kagame stayed in $2,000 per night hotels, while his countrymen's average daily wage was $2. Well, there we go. Pretty much like her, really, isn't it? Harry and Meghan fly around in private jets, standing outside, you know, going, oh, no one's asked me if I'm okay. You know, with the backdrop of thousands of women who have and men who've suffered, or women that have been abused and oh. Styling herself as an angel of mercy, Meghan did not question the president's overnighting stays in air-conditioned luxury. And she also afforded herself this luxury. Angel of mercy. I could think of something else that she is, not that. She stays in these 5-star plush hotels when literally a stone's throw away there is Gihimbi refugee camp where distraught women, and then she stands there and asks them how they've coped with their lives. Their replies were barely listed. That's literally the same, isn't it? No one's asked me if I'm okay. How tone deaf can you be? How tone deaf can you be? Honestly, she's the worst role model. One of the worst role models ever, in my opinion. In my opinion. My eyebrow's distracting me now. She's so tone deaf. She's absolutely so tone deaf. How has this woman got to where she is now? How has nobody called her out? Or if they have, maybe we're not hearing about it. But how has nobody called her out on her absolute BS? This facade of I'm all for women empowerment. And yet, you know, for me, if I was going to a country like that and I wanted to be part of something like that, okay, I appreciate being safe, but I would want to experience what they experience. I would want to be with the women. I wouldn't be staying in 5-star hotels knowing that these women suffer. I've even written where she literally then puts on her Instagram when she gets back, this type of work feeds my soul. She did not appear to be troubled by the contrast that a short distance away, impoverished people barely survived. And then she writes, my life shifts from refugee camps to red carpets. I choose them both because these worlds can, in fact, coexist. Can, in fact, coexist? No, that's they do exist, not they can no, they shouldn't coexist. This shouldn't be happening. She is so utterly tone deaf. My life shifts from red carpet, you wish. You wish. And then she says, she classes then Elizabeth Mayaro as a real friend. Honestly, she meets someone like once or twice and then they're friends. Or she meets them in passing and they're friends. I take very seriously being a role model for young women, she explained. You are absolutely the worst role model ever. The only role model you are suitable for are the squad because they are the same as you. Other than that, I hope that there is not a woman who has a daughter that would ever use this woman as a role model. Please, please do not ever use this woman as a role model. This woman who has used and discarded people all for her own agenda. She has not worked her way up. The only thing she's actually worked at is maybe doing the odd audition. That's it. Which is like every other actor, actress out there. She's no different to anybody else. She hasn't got this sob story lifestyle growing up. She got everything handed to her. She is the worst role model, in my opinion. Dreaming of the same stardom, Megan wrote in her working actress blog, I work long hours, I travel for press, my mind memorises, my mind spins, my days blur, my nights are restless, my hair is primped, my face is painted, my name is recognised, my star meter is rising, my life is changing. I need a vomit bucket. She doesn't even write like a real person. Who writes like that? Dreaming of the same stardom, Megan wrote in her working, I work long hours. Do you really though? Do you work long hours? Because I'm pretty sure you don't. What is that? What is that word? Compared to actual people that actually do hard work. I travel for press. Oh, my heart bleeds for you. I travel for press. My mind memorises. No, your mind schemes and works out who's the next person I'm going to use to fuel my agenda. My mind spins. Yeah, it probably does, with all the amount of people that you've dropped and you've discarded. You might need to keep a track of that in your black book because, you know, in case, you know, on your way down, you'll be hitting them. My days blur. That's called alcohol, love, or drugs, one of the two. My nights are restless. Well, yeah, I've got another word for that too. My hair is primped. Primped? No, it's straightened. It's like, who speaks like this? My face is painted. What are you, a clown? What are you, at the circus? Put makeup on, love. This is what it is. My name is recognised. Is it though? Is it though, Megan? Is your name recognised? Because I don't think it is. And my star meter is rising. Again, is it? Absolutely freaking tone deaf. Without a profile, Megan was told she could not attract British media attention and therefore would not be hired for engagements. Megan did not hide her frustration. Oh, I bet she didn't. After consulting her agent and publicist, Megan spotted an opportunity. Until then, she had mentioned race publicly twice. So bearing in mind, we're now looking at 2015. So this is when she's only mentioned it twice. But then since she's married Harry, oh my gosh, it's featured so highly in my entire life. But she recognised that more viewers thought she was white, that she decided this should change, especially after her black father was introduced into the second series of Suits. Having reconsidered her past, she decided she would sincerely present herself as a survivor of racism. So for all of those people out there who have struggled racism, Megan just decides that to, again, further her agenda, she's going to add that into the mix. And those fools, wherever they are that believe her, have gone along with that. Probably because they would do the same thing. The challenge was to find a platform to launch. Do you know what? I think I'm doing this more is because I'm so angry inside. Launch. I meant to say launch, but I'm lunching. We're lunching. We're lunching. We're ladies at lunch. To launch her rebranding, she chose Elle magazine in America. Megan suggested to Elle that she should travel to the island of Malta to search for her mixed race. Oh my goodness. Stop it now, Emma. Mixed race roots. Somewhere in the distant past, she recalled her grandmother Markle mentioned that her father's great Irish grandmother, Mary Bird, lived in Malta with an English soldier called Thomas Bird. They married and a child was born in Malta in 1862. To give the story greater attraction, Mary Bird was said to have been employed as a cook in 1856 at Windsor Castle. Does nobody fact check? Why do these people just go, oh, well, Meghan said it, so it must be true? So Elle magazine arranged with the Maltese Tourist Authority that in exchange for a free trip, Meghan's published article would not only describe Meghan's origins on the island, but also promote the local food, wine and beaches and be the backdrop for a fashion shoot. So to Nell Thorpe-Cohn, her publicist, I think, surprised, the moment they landed on the island, Meghan decided against finding her white ancestry. That was not surprising because Meghan had no ancestry in Malta. The 19th century soldier Thomas Bird married Mary McHugh in Donnybrook, Dublin, and there was never any employment in Windsor Castle. Oh, what a shock. Meghan lied. Thomas Markle would again dispute that his mother ever conjured the story about the Markles' connection to Malta. No, well, that's not surprising because she lies about everything and people just do not fact check anything she says. Did Meghan, her publicist, wonder if she ever intended to look for ancestors? She doubted it. Everything she does is carefully curated and forensically planned. Yeah, no, really? Money, Nell Thorpe-Cohn concluded, was Meghan's priority. Oh, it's not just money, it's money and fame. Fame in Hollywood. During her time in Malta, she did not speak about race, politics, nor her father, never mentioned Serena Williams and all the other celebrities she claimed to be friends with on her website. By then, Nell Thorpe-Cohn admitted to herself that she had fallen under Meghan's spell, as everyone did. Not only did she exude warmth and sincerity, but she made you feel that you were the only person in the world that mattered. She's a girl's girl and we had shared many stories. It's called love bombing. Pure and simple. Meghan does this with anyone that she can use. She has to go on the charm offensive. So she literally love bombs, male or female. I honestly think she'd love bomb a dog if she thought she could get anywhere with the dog. She literally would. Unfortunately for the Maltese, here's the shock, for the Maltese tourist, Meghan's published article in Elle made no mention of Malta. No mention of the island's restaurants, wines and beaches. Nothing. Meghan talked about herself and her race. What a shock. What a shock. Curiously, while she mentioned in a TIG post in 2015, travelling to Malta Elle's request, later in 2017, this was later removed. Probably so to make it seem like Meghan had decided that she was going to do this because it felt important to her. How, honestly, no wonder she's been able to be the way she has, because literally everyone in their own way has enabled her lies, her embellishment of the truth. The Elle article was used by Nell Cohn as leverage to invite 30% potential buyers of Meghan the brand to Home House, a private members club in central London. Meghan appears in a discussion with Emmanuel Zhao, a Sudanese child soldier and musician, speaking about feminism and women's empowerment. Oh, please. She did not mention race. The result was disappointing. The audience dismissed her as uninteresting. L'Oreal and all the other cosmetic firms had rejected the invitation to feature Meghan as the face of their brand. Yeah, she just wasn't, no one cared about her. No, she was not interesting. She was just self-promoting. And I think anyone credible saw through her BS. Depending on the question, Meghan had either hit a roadblock or reached a crossroads in her career. John Fitzpatrick comes to the rescue again. So whereas she's had her dad coming to the rescue, then it was Trevor, then it was Corey, and then now it's this guy. And then, you know, this is all the time she's still dating Corey on and off. But she was also, it says here that she was kind of seeing someone, Rory. So this is when Meghan was invited to the White House with Fitzpatrick. He set this up for her, and then she meets Barack Obama. And I bet that the fact that she got snubbed from the birthday party probably hit home even more, considering she probably thought he would have remembered her from there. In March 2015, Meghan had a good reason to believe she was on the upward trajectory. Not only was she meeting the Democratic Party's aristocracy, but with Hillary Clinton's support, Elizabeth Nyamiro had agreed that she could address a UN Women's Conference in New York. Basically, the UN Women, this was the famous UN Women speech that she's been known for. So here it says the UN Women was hosting two conferences. The principal conference for VIPs, addressed the previous year by Emma Watson, which is the one that Meghan coveted, was held at the UN headquarters. A second meeting offside, which was for children and minor personalities, was held on the 10th of March. That was the one that Meghan actually did. But when she talks about it, she acts as though, and even though I'm actually shocked that people have not fact-checked any of this again, but she actually didn't speak for the main event. She actually spoke as a sideline project. Although Meghan's name did not feature in the press release or the programme's publicity, Meghan invited her mother for the most important event of her life. Poor old Thomas doesn't get a look in again then. She planned to emulate Emma Watson's stardom as a feminist. Emulate? I think you might want to say copy, plagiarise. She would claim to have been inspired to become an actress by Julia Roberts. So she decides to name drop Julia Roberts in there. In her brief address, Meghan fluently recited the story of her childhood protest to Procter & Gamble, the one that she literally reels out. The reply she received from Hillary Clinton, how single-handedly she had changed Procter & Gamble's campaign. Are you kidding me? Are people thick? How can they actually think that an 11-year-old child has the capability, an unknown, nobody cares about 11-year-old child has the capability of changing $1 million dollar campaign without actually registering that the campaign was being changed anyway? I honestly just, it beggars belief. And here she says, she speaks about herself. It was at that moment that I realised the magnitude of my actions at the age of 11. Did you really at the age of 11? You actually sat there and went, I'm recognising the magnitude of my actions. No, you self-entitled little brat. What you did was had your dad kind of go, oh my gosh, look how important you are. And you've gone, yeah, you know what, I am important. That's... She repeated Emma Watson's feminist sentiments. Plagiarises. Here we go. I am so proud, she concluded, to be a woman and a feminist. And this evening I am currently proud to stand before you on this significant day, which serves as a reminder to all of us of how far we've come, but also amid celebration, a reminder of the road ahead. Where's my vomit bucket again? Over the following years, many got the impression she had spoken to the United Nations General Assembly's auditorium alongside Emma Watson because she led everyone to believe that. Few realised that Watson did not even speak to the UN that year, it was the year previous, and that Meghan had addressed a sideshow audience. Of course she lied. What a shock. Soon afterwards, Meghan urged Elizabeth Nyamiro to introduce her to Emma Watson, and Nyamiro refused. But never deterred, Meghan asked her to promote her to UN ambassador. Apparently, the South African director of the UN Women was doubtful. Meghan's cause could not have been helped by giving the impression to some people that while she did speak about politics, philosophy and ideology, her apparent all-consuming passion for the empowerment of women was in reality focused on self-promotion and the empowerment of Meghan Markle. Oh, I'm glad that some people did actually see that then, that she does nothing but promote herself. So Nyamiro refused Meghan's request to be promoted to ambassador. Then, in true hoity-toity, spoilt brat Meghan mode, she decided that she was no longer going to be involved in he for she, and she cut her ties with UN Women. Yet, remarkably, despite the unpublicised split, she continues to use and cite publicly her UN Women experience as proof of her philanthropy. So there you have it, don't you? As soon as she doesn't get what she wants, she's like, yeah, I don't actually really care about you, and I'm going to drop you. She doesn't care about women. She doesn't care about anybody but herself. If she cared, then none of that would have mattered. It would have been like, do you know what? I am recognizing what an amazing opportunity this is, and not many get to use or have an opportunity like this. So I'm going, no matter what happens, I'm going to use that. And you know what? Because if she was genuine, she probably would have excelled. But she's not genuine, and people will see through her. And the people that see through her, she literally markles. She's like, yeah, don't want anything to do with you now, thanks. Honestly. And then one of the things that she says continually is, being yourself is the prettiest thing a person can be. Being yourself? Megan, you don't know who you are. You're so busy trying to be everybody else or other people that you wouldn't even know yourself if it smacked you in the face. She's never been herself. I mean, she's great at promoting herself, but literally she's never been herself. Being a humanitarian, a global citizen dedicated to women's self-empowerment and opposed to Brexit and Donald Trump, she advised. Oh, she's happy to utilise Ivanka Trump, though, and she's happy to go to Donald Trump's parties, allegedly, when it might help her career. But he's misogynistic. But happy to utilise the friendship of Ivanka Trump, even though I think she met her once, to fuel her career and name drop her, but attacks her father. This woman is so all over the place. You know, she uses men, but can't handle it when someone actually... The reason I believe she doesn't like Donald Trump is because he sees through her. Now, whether you like or dislike him is irrelevant, but I absolutely believe that with someone like Meghan, if she could have used, she's someone that would have married Donald Trump if she'd have thought it would have got her somewhere. But because he sees through her, she doesn't like him. Now, I don't maybe like some of the things that he says or does, but I don't know enough about him personally to make a judgment call on that. But, you know, do I like how he behaves sometimes? No, but I don't have to like how someone behaves, but can I appreciate that maybe in some areas he's done some good? Maybe. But again, I don't know enough to make that statement. And because of that, but I certainly wouldn't use someone that I didn't like. I certainly wouldn't be, on one hand, you know, it's like pick a lane and stick to it, love, because, you know, on one hand, you're very kind of, I'm all for women, but yet you're okay when women are being subjectified, you know, or you're being subjectified in an advert, you know, if it means that you get somewhere, or you're all for using women and then dropping them, like your friend, you know, and doing things really cruelly. You're all for supporting a president who has been accused of war crime and uses the women MPs because he thinks they can be manipulated. Oh, but that's okay. As a world-class networker, Meghan enjoyed flashing names on her TIG. So she literally name dropped Serena Williams, Millie McIntosh, the Quality Street heiress, Made in Chelsea star. Well, she does that because, you know, at the end of the day, she thinks that she might get a part in Made in Chelsea. So she name drops her. Rory McIlroy, well, she uses him. Ivanka Trump, happy to name drop her. Oh, Elizabeth Hurley gets in there. So, you know, she's British. So we need to name drop a few British people in there. Heidi Klum. You know, she literally uses anyone or names anyone that can literally fuel her agenda. But she was careful not to mention the personalities she met through John Fitzpatrick, the Clintons, and the American Irish set, as they would not welcome gushing references on her blog. So she's not stupid. Her relationship with Fitzpatrick also remained secret. Corey Vitiello remained invisible. I feel sad for Corey because he seems like a really nice guy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm thinking he's probably thanking the stars that he got out of that relationship with her, but I just feel so sad because he's going to be reading this, you know, and he's literally going to be seeing how much, all the things that he accused her of, and she's like, no, I'm not being unfaithful, I'm not cheating on you, I'm not doing any of that, and she actually was. So he's probably going to feel that he's been made to look like a fool. So this is where, again, that she's using Jessica Mulroney, because she recognises through Corey, she had weaved her way into the city's rhythms. So basically Corey had helped advance her career. Trevor got her onto that next level, then Corey, and then now it's Jessica Mulroney was a source of even better introductions. The ambitious networker had given Megan the opportunity to meet Canada's establishment, the Thompsons, Westons and Rogers. None, however, could provide the breakthrough she wanted beyond Canada. Hollywood fame remained elusive. So there we go. So that is up until now, and this video is a lot longer. It's almost an hour long, so I appreciate that this is going to be a little bit longer, guys. So I will do the breakdown of obviously the timestamp. So if you feel this is too long, you know, watch some of it and then come back and watch the other bit later on. You don't have to watch everything in one go. But let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I feel like this one has actually hit home to me a bit more than what the others have. And, you know, I feel like a bit more of a reaction to this particular segment. And like I say, I don't know quite why it was named Hilary, but because she doesn't really feature in this. Yeah, but, you know, give me your thoughts on that. Maybe you can realise why it was named that, maybe. Thank you to everyone who has, you know, liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you do like it. Please, if you would like more of my videos, then maybe consider subscribing to my channel so you don't miss my future uploads. And it does help the algorithm for me to, you know, to get further subscribers and views. Thank you to everybody who has joined up as a member. Don't forget, you still have a chance till tomorrow evening to join the competition. Also, don't forget to go down into my Q&A post on my community page, or even here. If you have any questions for my Q&A on Friday, please add them either in the description box, maybe put hashtag questions so I can see that it's a question for Friday, or if you want to go across to the community page, you can put it in there. Thank you to everyone who has sent me something in the PO box. Don't forget, if you want to do that, whether it be something you would like me to promote of yours on the channel, or whether it be something that you would like to send myself or Arthur rather than anything monetary wise, you know, you absolutely now have that PO box to do that. What else? Thank you to everybody who's bought me a cup of tea. Thank you to everyone who's joined up to the bubble tea club. And yeah, and anyone that has joined will be going up on the channel on Friday as well. So I will announce the winners probably over the weekend, because they give me a chance to do that. And so yeah, I will see you in tomorrow's video as always. Video. Oh, it's been really one of those videos today. But as always, I love you, I appreciate you, and more importantly, I respect you. Bye, Bubble family.